Saturday, 1st of November, 2025 at 1:28 p.m. here in the proper city of Snohomish, Washington, United States of America. Welcome once again to our cosmic journey. It is your Dev and Design podcast showcasing two gentle boys on their quest in making the world's best astrology software. I am the designer, Jake. He is the engineer, Trey. Hello, Trey.
Hello, Jake.
It's always very weird. I always know that you're to my left, so I can always point over here, even though you're across from me.
Yes. So what that means that nope, you're there. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you think that there's a correlation between how long our episodes are and what time of the day we film them in?
I don't know. Statistics would...
We need a spreadsheet.
Hey, we'll go to the advanced analytics on that in the next episode. But for this one, we are going to do an episode called You Smellin' Toast? Two reasons. One, because we'll be talking about the toast today, literally the thing that pops up in the UI. You'll see it in a little bit. But also, and the good viewer will know this, Trey might have one of his moments where he's got like an anger seizure at the camera. And in that case, he might look like he's having a stroke, to which we'll be asking him if he is smelling toast.
You know, as long as we don't talk about Microsoft, then...
We never do. Why would we talk about
smelling.
Microsoft? Because it's not a hot take, nor is it an interesting take. What we will be talking about today is the toast, and we'll be talking about slimming down the size of the application. We might talk about some other stuff because you know us, we tend to ramble on. But before we get to all of that, it is, of course, time for the check-in question. Mr. Henry, are you ready for this?
I am so ready.
Okay. You, sir, have a piece of toast, right? You have an infinite choice of toppings to put on this toast. What is your topping of choice? You say margarine, I don't believe you. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Margarine? Ugh.
Margarine?
Oh man, that is such a good question because so many delicious things go on toast. But I'm gonna use my most recent toast extravaganza.
Your most recent toast experience.
Yeah, my most recent toast experience where I was like, no, this is actually excellent. We have a toaster oven. So it's like one of these little like small ovens that you can cook food in, and it's just, but it's not like a toaster, but you can toast things in it. And what I did was I took a piece of bread and I put like a little aluminum foil underneath it so it didn't drip everywhere. And then I microplaned a bunch of cheddar cheese on it. And then we just have this like Italian seasoning blend, which is mostly like oregano and maybe some other stuff in there. And then I sprinkled that on it. And then I put it in the toaster oven and just cooked it until it was like super crisp on the top. And it was like kind of like a plain piece of pizza almost. But
actually, if you had put ketchup on it, you would have made working woman's pizza.
Exactly. But no sauce, just cheese. The cheese kind of like the oil in the cheese kind of soaked into the bread a little bit, but it crisped up and it was just really good.
Yeah, I love that for you.
Yeah, how about you? What do you put on toast?
Hey, for me, you know me, I'm not eating the carbs if I can help it.
Yeah, but you have to for this question.
I do have to for this question. And if I'm going to go down that road, down the toast road, I think it would be certainly some type of fruit jam or jelly. And making sure, actually, the last time that I had toast, I believe that I had put a sweet and spicy jalapeno jam on that toast. Yeah. And I would, of course, instead of butter, I would put cream cheese and sweet and tangy and hot and jalapeno jam. Thinking about it right now, look, I'm in. Screw this diet. Who needs abs?
Also, the viewer should know that Jake has a very strong Saturn placement in the first, and there is often a need for foods to have a little bit of like a little bite, a little bitter, like something that's a challenge.
A difficult note.
Yeah, yes. A difficult note.
Yeah, so we're like, oh, let's have toast, and we'll put cream cheese and jelly, and we'll put clamato on there. Like, why? Why did you put clamato on there?
And then, but it's usually really good if you can get over that initial sort of like, I love the challenges in the food.
Nothing like a cream cheese, jelly, and clamato sandwich.
That should be the episode next.
All right, Mr. Henry, let's talk a little bit about this cycle. What had happened in this cycle? By the way, good check-in, everyone. Good check-in.
Yeah, good check-in.
Good check-in. Let us know what your toppings for your toast are. Comment below. We love it. All right.
Yeah, and don't say avocado.
Don't say, you can. It's fine. You can absolutely say avocado.
I would kind of put things into two buckets. One was enhancements and bug fixes. And then the other was starting to experiment with some of the technology changes that we would like to get to in our official release. For those that are aware, we are currently at our preview release, which is free software for that you can use and install and check out, with the caveat that there's a lot of things that are missing and there's issues and bugs and etc.
A lot of things that are missing.
Yeah. But still, it's surprisingly like
we can't
very good
overstate
software.
that. It's a lot. But yeah, it's still very good. And we use it. We love it. It's good stuff. Hey, if you haven't downloaded it yet, go to cosmic.plumbing. It's there for you.
Yeah, and if you want to see the features from today, download it probably tomorrow. We'll do the release. There's one more thing that I want to get in that was user feedback that I really want to have for myself as well.
Okay.
That's not quite in there yet. So I'm hoping to finish that off, and then I'll do all the builds tomorrow and we'll deploy those.
Yeah, and if you're using Windows, we appreciate that you download it and then you say it's safe to install. Every little bit helps. There is no Russian spyware in there. I promise you. No malware. Even though if it tells you there's malware, there isn't. It's just that we're building C code in there because we're building a Swiss ephemeris in there. Unless you think astrology is a virus, let us know in the comments. Then yes, there is a virus in there.
Does.
Truly. Okay, anyways, so
I'll demo a couple of things in the first category. So we'll demo the toast, which we're very excited about because this is something that we needed to get in there anyway. And I'll talk about the specific reason why we put it in now instead of a little bit later. I'll talk a little bit about how we are validating perspectives now so that it's more difficult for you to end up with a perspective that doesn't work. We had some user-reported issues related to the lots. Lots are very specific calculation. They have specific calculation needs, and we didn't do a good job of telling you like these needs aren't being met, basically. And then we'll talk a little bit about future tech.
Cool.
So I was just looking at my birth chart and I added a birth ring, which is for whoever was born in Snohomish just now.
Oh, congratulations.
Welcome to the world.
Welcome. Hey, mazel tov.
But the reason that I wanted to show this is because we had some folks that had said, the hotkeys to move through time don't necessarily work in some cases. And this is one of the cases where they intentionally don't work.
Yeah.
If you have two birth moments, we don't want to move those because they're birth moments, they don't move. And so while we do allow you to, click in and change the birth times and stuff like that, if you use the hotkeys to move through time, what we do now is we give you a little message. Hey, you can't do that. And, or not that you can't do that, but why nothing happened when you use that key.
Can you do it one more time?
I'm going to press it a bunch of times so you can see how the toast stacks up. If you hover over it, you can interact with it. You can even close these. And then...
But they'll go away on their own, so you don't have to close them.
Yep, exactly. And they will also just disappear on their own. This is very standard toast for... applications. Should look familiar to everybody. We also are now using it when you go to perspective. So let's say that I change the Hellenistic perspective. When you save it, we are now using it to let you know that like, hey, we saved that, but also we put you back in the context that you were in before. So if you had changed that from a chart, you would go back to the chart, you get the little toast. We changed it for you.
It feels much more fluid. It's so nice feeling.
Yes, it really feels like
much more professional. I don't know if you had remembered this, unless you have used the software very extensively. We would just put a big message in front of you, which is good and informational, but toast is one of these things which we would call a passive notification. There's some times where a non-destructive action happens and we need to passively tell you what had happened. And we need to let you know at least. So it's what's called a passive notification. And that's your design tip of the day.
Yeah. And they're much better in most cases, with the exception of things that are actually going to be destructive. Like this delete button will always give you a modal dialog that does not allow you to do anything else with the browser.
Because it is either disruptive or destructive. Disruptive and destructive things need to be disruptive in their presentation.
Yeah, some people do, and we may do this eventually, where we'll have like an archive, and then it will just go ahead and archive and put up a toast saying like, it's been archived, you can find it here, or click this button to restore it.
Yeah.
But right now, delete is destructive. Anyhow, the next thing that I wanted to show is that, so we have, in this one, we have all of the lots turned on. I am going to remove Venus from my list of planets. And what you can see now is we have a little message here that says the lot of Eros requires Venus. because
Right.
this is required in order to calculate the lot of arrows. And then also, of course, the sun and the moon are required for basically
Most
every lot.
everything.
So, so the lot of fortune and the lot of spirit will now say that they require the sun. And if you turn off the lots, then they're no longer required. So there's an entire, basically we take the entire perspective and then we run a bunch of analysis on it to make sure that there's not a situation where you could have a perspective that's in a bad state.
Yeah,
And if
where you say that you can have a lot, or you want to show a lot, but that lot doesn't show its component planets.
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense.
Or in the case that a lot is dependent upon another lot. For example, the lot of Eros requires the lot of Spirit. So that's it for the demos. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is some technology proof of concepts that we did this week.
Yeah.
And one of them is very exciting because it gives us several amazing things for our application that are difficult with the platform that we're currently using. So today we package up our application in a thing called Electron, which allows you to sort of use web technologies and deploy them to all environments. It's great. There's a newer sort of technology similar to this, which is called Tauri. And Tauri is just a little bit more efficient because it uses, instead of packaging up an entire web browser and everything else into the release, it just uses what's available on the system itself. So the first amazing thing about this is that it gives us a drastically reduced package size.
You probably can't see it here, but it's like 442 megabytes or so. And you're like, why is it so big?
Almost half a gig.
You told me that there's no spyware in here. How could it be like I'm calculating charts? How could it be 442 megabytes? Well, it's because we're packaging essentially all of Chrome into the application. But now, Mr. Henry.
Yeah. Not only all of Chrome, but also all of Chrome's ability to run WebAssembly, which is why ours is even bigger than other assemblies built on Electron. It went down to 40 meg.
Yay. Actually, I think wasn't it smaller than that? I thought it was like 22. But it doesn't matter.
It was like 42.
Anyways, it's at least
it's
10%.
Magnitude.
At least one order of magnitude smaller, maybe like an order and a half magnitude smaller. I believe that it was like
crazy
95% smaller. So I think it went from like 440 megabytes to like 20 megabytes.
Yes. The application would like kind of, the animation
chunky
frames would be chunky and things like that. And we're not exactly sure why that happens. It might be because of caching, like downloading and caching assets, even though it's not downloading anything, it's just getting them from the application bundle. Anyway, all of that goes away. The application starts up instantly. There's no animation stutter. It's just very, very quick. It's super snappy. So that's another primary feature. But then there was one more thing that I didn't realize about Tauri, which is going to be super key for us in the very near future, which we've kind of already hinted at, so this isn't like that big of a hint, which is that it allows you to build iOS and Android apps out of the same bundle. So once we have the ability to target small screens with the UI, which is very close.
As you saw last week up there.
Exactly. We will be able to do an actual like store build as well as a PWA. We're going to do a PWA as well because we've talked about the stores and why we're not big fans as application developers, but we will have those a little bit easier moving to this new platform.
And I don't remember what PWA stands for.
Progressive Web App.
Progressive Web App, thank you.
Yeah. So a PWA is a web app that you can install on your machine.
Okay.
So
much easier.
Yeah. So yeah. So if Android users are very used to this paradigm, iOS users are much less so because Android Chrome was the primary sort of pioneer for this, and so any Android user who has ever gone to a website and then there's a little pop-up or there's a little button there that says like install, and then you click that little button to install, and then all of a sudden there's like an app on your phone's desktop. That's a PWA.
Okay.
And it's very, very common in Android. It allows you to circumvent the Google Play Store. These also work on iOS. iOS also supports this. You see it less commonly on that platform, but a lot of times in an application, you'll have a little button there or something, and you click on that, and then there will be a notification that you're installing an application, then it'll install on the phone. This is quickly becoming, it's been around for a while, actually.
Yeah, my understanding is that in certain cultures or certain countries where internet connectivity might be a little bit more spotty, that PWAs were the more preferred method of delivering these types of applications. And so our friends in India, for example, I think get a whole lot more, like they're used to this a whole lot more than what we would say in like the United States.
Yeah, or if you're in China behind the Chinese firewall, any place where the app stores might be preventing you from getting particular applications, it's much harder to block that sort of stuff on the web.
Interesting.
As this becomes more and more prevalent, I think PWAs will also become more and more prevalent.
And we would like astrology to be everywhere.
Yes,
That's the thing.
Our goal, as we have stated many times, is your charts everywhere.
Yeah.
Part of making that happen is facilitated by this new platform that I think we have decided we are actually going to move towards. And so that will be a shift in V1.
All right, Mr. Henry, what should the good viewer do with their beautiful, hopefully, weekend right after Halloween or Samhain, whatever you celebrate?
Whatever you celebrate. Hopefully you honored the glorious dead.
And if you haven't, maybe it's the time to do that.
Yeah, you can still do it. They're still hanging around.
They're around. Go honor your dead. Be well. Take care. Have yourself a lovely weekend or whatever day you watch this video. We love seeing you here every week, and we'll be back next week for you. Until then, take care and goodbye.